Week 13 previews and analysis. This video is for the game between the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. This will be your early game on Thanksgiving and will take place obviously in Detroit like it does every year. And these two teams, Packers at 5-1 after their tie last week with the Vikings, and the Lions at 6-5. You know, the Lions catch a break last week. They do lose at home to the Buccaneers, but they have, you know, the Bears lose behind them, and they have the Packers tie. So certainly a huge game. This game is in the landscape of the NFC North. The Lions, you know, coming off a game last week where they lose 24-21, in which they held the team to under 40 yards rushing. Okay, they sacked Mike Glennon 4 times, yet they still lose. And you know, the biggest reason for that was the 5 turnovers that they did commit. Okay, 4 of those were interceptions by Matthew Stafford. Calvin Johnson had a solid game. I think most importantly, Nate Burleson came back, was heavily targeted, and had a good game himself. As you saw, Ziggy Ansah return and have 2 sacks. So in this game against the Packers, I think it's going to be the same remedy for the Lions when they play at home. How will they match up against that running game of the Packers? Yes, they rely on the running game more now with Green Bay, but Eddie Lacy had 25 carries for 110 yards last week. Will that Lions defense that sometimes will show up against the run like they did last week, sometimes not show up against the run? How do they play against a Green Bay team that you know is going to have a focus on running the ball? Matt Flynn looks like he's going to get the start. Aaron Rodgers is not a possibility, it looks like, this week to start against the Lions. So is he able to get the ball out of his hand quick, evade any potential pressures that could be coming from the Lions? Do the Lions cook up any intricate blitz schemes, or do they stick with their base front four to rush? You know, this will all play out here. But again, for the Lions, it's about Matthew Stafford not turning the ball over, that defensive line showing up, because you know, we've seen quarterbacks like Mike Glennon last week be able to burn this Lions secondary deep if they're given time. And, you know, you look at that game last week, the Lions had more time of possession, but Glennon was able to hit those long passes last week to Tyquan Underwood, of all people. So that's something to monitor. The pressure of the Lions' defensive line and how it affects the back end on deep throws against a team in the Packers that still has legitimate weapons, that can still run the ball. Their questions obviously will start at the quarterback position and on the defensive side of the ball. Do they have the personnel to match up against Calvin Johnson? You know, I don't think they do. Do they have the big matchup for me with them is going to be their linebackers and safeties matched up against Reggie Bush, most notably in the passing game. We'll see, you know, how Matt Flynn plays in his first start here since coming back to the Packers. You know, in these games, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Flynn played well. He sort of has a history of doing that, but you can't expect it by any means. So the onus will be on Eddie Lacy in that running game. Look, what's been lost with the whole Rodgers injury and them tying last week and different things that have gone on, all the injuries they've had, is the fact that that offensive line and that running game has been solid pretty much in every game this season. So we'll see if that strength of the running game can make some way versus the strength of the Lions defense, which is that defensive line. So a lot of interesting subplots will take place in this game. Most notably, it's on Thanksgiving. It's a rivalry game. That means a lot. And I think you're going to get the best effort out of both of these teams. I don't see Matthew Stafford turning the ball over as much as he did last week. Therefore, I see the Lions scoring between 27 and 30 points in this game. I think the defensive line will show up motivated because of the circumstance, division rivalry, and because of the fact that obviously it's on Thanksgiving Day. So I think they're going to do a good job. I think Eddie Lacy may get his yards, but from a pass rush perspective, the Lions get to Matt Flynn much like they did to Mike Glennon last week. So I like Detroit -6 at home here on Thanksgiving Day to beat the Packers and go to 7-5. Guys, let me know what you think. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, guys. I preview and recap every game every week, and I'm always talking the news of the day in the NFL. So be sure to subscribe. Thanks for listening. Have a great Thanksgiving.